When you see what Jesus offers you, when you think of what He is holding out to you, why in the world would anyone stay away from Jesus? It's a no-brainer. You'd have to be crazy to tell Jesus, no thanks. Sin, this thing in us that totally makes us lose our mind. If we really thought through, we would never walk away from Christ. He's the source of everything. We would never forego the gift of forgiveness. No, Jesus, I'd rather feel guilty all my life. I'd rather carry this load of sin all my life. Who would do that? It's a no-brainer to come to Jesus and let Him take the things off of our shoulders. The very first time that there were sinners on earth, in Adam and Eve, Jesus didn't come to the garden and growl out a demand, get your slimy little... He didn't come to Adam and Eve, grab them by the neck and march them into the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It says, you ate from this tree, didn't you? No, that's not what Jesus does. Jesus says, Adam, Eve, where are you? Triggering them to think about how God deals with His children. And what they heard was the love of God traveling through the sound waves to their hearts and drawing them. It wasn't long till Adam and Eve were out from the bushes and walking to their God. And God was holding out a solution for their sins. Make no mistake, when we're yoked to Jesus, He's pulling the load, and we get the joy of walking beside Him. Come unto me, says Jesus. He's drawing. He's drawing. And I'm telling you, when you start hearing the voice of Jesus and you start thinking about what He's done to bring us out of darkness into light, out of the pit of pain into joy, out of guilt into freedom. Oh, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. You have never known freedom like what Jesus offers you. This is beautiful. You can come to Jesus with a mountain of sin and guilt and remorse and problems. But if you come to Him, even with your huge, enormous guilt, He doesn't say, oh, sorry, you can only use one coupon each time. He doesn't say, sorry, I would forgive you, but that's too much. I would forgive you, but how do I know that you're not going to go out and get another pile like that? Jesus doesn't say any of that. He doesn't say what's in it for me or what's it worth to you. He doesn't say that. Jesus doesn't come to us, look us over, see our issues, and then tally up some kind of amount. No, Jesus, doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you've done, what you're going to do tomorrow. It doesn't matter. If you reject Him, there will be a loss. Because unless you place your sin in the hands of Jesus, there's no way to take away their consequences. If you're carrying your sins, it's going to blow up and take you with it. The only way you can avoid being destroyed by your sin is by handing your sin to Jesus. The people catch a brain, right? They think, oh God. They're seeing the consequences of being a half a step away from God, and all of a sudden, no-brainer, right? They call out to God. God, help, help. People are dying. We tend to get serious when we see people dying. They call out to God. God doesn't take the vipers away. People didn't stop getting bitten by vipers. What God did is He made a way of healing. The people invited the vipers by pushing away God, and God doesn't step back in and take away all the danger. What He does is He provides a way that in the midst of the danger, there can be life. when Jesus says to Nicodemus, just like Moses raised the serpent in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up. See, Jesus doesn't come and take away all the temptations and all the evil and put Satan in a little box. What Jesus does is, in the midst of this viper-infested planet, he provides a way of deliverance, of healing. And that's why I say it's a no-brainer to turn your back on all else and head to Jesus. How many people needed to be convinced to go to where they could see the bronze serpent on the post? But they're like, no, it hurts. But you're going to die if you don't. No, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm cool. Oh, I'm having a hard time breathing. Come on, let us carry you. No, leave me. I'm comfortable here. I mean, nobody in their right mind would be like, no, I know the bronze serpent is going to heal me, but, I'd rather just die. I'd rather just painfully swell up and die. It's a no-brainer to come to Jesus, because the same is absolutely true. It's not enough just to mentally agree with the salvation that Jesus offers us. It's not enough just to say, yeah, there is something in the response where you've got to get up and put your shoes on and start walking the walk, because the talk means nothing. Being drawn to Christ is a constant one decision after another that moves you towards Jesus. He provides the conviction. He provides the strength. We provide the choice after choice after choice. The daily choice to be connected to Him. When I look at love and compare it to the options, when I look at the fruit of forgiveness and compare it to any other option out there, it's a no-brainer. When I consider Jesus' desire to restore me to what He wanted in the very beginning, I can't see a downside to that restoration. It's not like He's going to turn me into some type of a robot where I do glorious things. He restores me for my own joy. When I see the unselfish nature of God in that He stepped forward and redeemed a creation He could have crumpled up and put in the wastebasket, I am moved by unselfishness like that. When I see Jesus giving rather than taking, I can't tell a lie. I can't see any argument that can stand against the love of God. Jesus, just before He was arrested, Jesus is in the middle of the crowd. He's in the temple and people are milling about. They've brought their sacrifice. They've brought themselves. They're calling out to God. They're longing for refreshment, forgiveness, deliverance. Each one calling out. Jesus, in the middle of it, knows that the priests can't provide it. The temple services can't provide it. The sacrifices can't provide it. The liturgy can't provide it. Washing won't fix it. They can go down in their mikvah baths 1,000 times and they still will have the same stains of sin. Jesus sees them trying to solve their spiritual problem with a religious solution. And He calls out to them, if anyone thirsts, when I think about Jesus, He's always offering, giving. Why would I walk away from that? What is it? Let's just think this through. What is it that I have to give up in order to come to Jesus? Do I have to turn my brain off and just become a yes man? No. Jesus is the one who wants us to think and use this CPU that He's given us. Do I have to give up on the hope of being happy and just go along like a marching soldier? No, Jesus is the one who gives us happiness. Do I have to give up my freedom? So many people, I don't want to have to do with God. I want to be free. Now, how free are you when you have a demon for a taskmaster? Even if that demon is yourself. Jesus says, I will give you rest. I will give you freedom. I will give you life, and it will be life to the full. I can't think of anything that I'll lose that's worth keeping when I come to Jesus. Jesus is not in the process of oppressing. That'd be the other guy. Jesus is not in the process of controlling. That'd be the other guy. Jesus is not in the process of taking your joy. That'd be the other guy. You know, sometimes I think we're still listening to the snake that tells us that God doesn't have our best interests. We're listening to this snake that says, did God really say you couldn't have this fruit? God doesn't want you to be knowledgeable. The snake is a liar. And he's saying about God all the things that are true about him. Whatever the devil says, turn it upside down and you'll be closer to the truth. Why even listen to the snake? Didn't do Adam and Eve any good to listen to the snake. And it's not done you any good to listen to the snake. It's time to just go straight to the source. Jesus never chases sheep. But when they call out to him like the lamb on the mountain, he hears and he comes. He always listens to us. He knows our voice. And if we're wise, we'll return the favor and we will make sure that we know his voice. Look at this verse. I love it. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him. The sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out.